It's the day after the election. The votes have been cast, the people have spoken. But how do we go from here to here? Well, it all starts with a magic number, 326. That's half the seats in the House of Commons plus one. And it's the number all parties dream of because it means they have an overall majority in Parliament. Quick sidebar, in practice, it's a little bit less than that because some MPs never vote. The Speaker, yep, that's the guy, and his deputies don't. And over in Northern Ireland, any MPs from the pro-Irish unification party Sinn Féin stay away because they don't recognise the authority of Parliament. Anyway, let's just stick with 326. If a party manages to get that or more MPs, things are pretty straightforward. It means they get to form a majority government. The leader of that party can jump in a car, go straight to Buckingham Palace and ask the Queen for permission to form a government. Though an outgoing Prime Minister, if it's a different person, actually has to make the same journey first to resign. Anyway, having an absolute majority of MPs in the Commons usually means the governing party has enough support to pass laws and get things done. That's why parties have whips, basically people who try to convince MPs to vote in line with their own party. But even the whips weren't able to stop loads of MPs rebelling over Brexit. So the bigger a party's majority, the more headroom they have to deal with those rebellious MPs. But what if no party reaches the magic number of 326 on election day? That's when we get what is called a hung parliament. Admittedly, this used to be quite rare, but it has happened in 2 of the last 3 elections, so really all bets are off. A hung parliament is a real headache, mainly because it means parties might actually have to cooperate to get into or hold on to power. So here are 2 options on how a government is formed in the event of a hung parliament. Option 1. 2 parties or more with a combined majority of 326 MPs or more get together to form a coalition government. They will decide behind closed doors who will be given the most important roles and what policies they might compromise on. That's what happened in 2010, and just look at how happy everyone seemed to be back then. Pros: you have a combined majority to actually govern with. Cons: parties have to compromise and might alienate some of their supporters. Option 2, the party with the most seats tries to form a minority government. So they don't have a majority in the Commons, but they govern anyway. In order to pass laws, the government asks for occasional support from another party. That party might agree to back the government on the most important votes, and in exchange, the government guarantees them influence over things they care about. In 2017, then Prime Minister Theresa May didn't form a coalition, but had an arrangement with the DUP in Northern Ireland that meant she could mostly count on their votes. This is called a confidence and supply agreement. The pros: there's a government. The cons: it can be difficult for that government to actually get things done. Confused yet? No? Then I'll add a little bit more complexity. Keep in mind that the UK has no written constitution, so much of how the government is formed is based on convention, and there can be exceptions to how things are done. In the 1923 election, this guy formed the first Labour government with the support from another party, even though the Conservatives had won the most seats overall. So what can we take away from this? The party with the most MPs in Parliament usually gets to form a government. But the closer the election results, the more complicated things can get.